Viewer discretion is advised. Your fave will be criticized.
That's Dan.
That's Chris.
And welcome to CCTV, the nonstop pop show.
And today we'll be discussing Big Bang's long-awaited comeback single, Still Life. If you're wondering who we are, Chris and I have a huge range of experience in the music industry, from performing on stage to working at record labels, so we have a lot of insight into this crazy music industry. So if you'd like to join us on these crazy conversations, come join us on Patreon at patreon.com/cctvpops. And also a special shout out to our crew members, Lisette and Lily, and our newest producer, Emily.
Yay! Yay, thanks so much for joining us. So our crew members and a lot of our listeners have been very excited about Big Bang finally returning after 4 years. And so they're back with the new song, Still Life. And so we're recording this a few hours after the release, and it's already broken a few records, and it's charting all over the world in every chart possible. So the power of Big Bang, because Big Bang was one of my first K-pop obsessions. I even wrote a very detailed paper about them for one of my music industry classes, about how I think they could have entered the US or the Western market. Which unfortunately never came to fruition.
I know.
But actually, what I remember most about getting into Big Bang was understanding all the different discography, like how the Korean discography is completely different to the Japanese discography. Then they have all the solo stuff. Then they have all the unit stuff. And then there's random English songs too. I was so confused.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Their Japanese singles ended up being English song singles too. And I was like, really?
I was so confused.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
I understand. I was the same way. I was definitely the same way. I got into them after I got into Boa, and I saw Taeyong with Prayer. Let me say, so I was like, oh my God, who is he? And then I found out there was more of them, and I was like, oh my God, he's in a group. So they were my first K-pop boy group, and he was my first K-pop bias ever. For people who don't know what a bias is, that's your favorite member of the group. So essentially, he's my Robert. It's for the four townies out there. But yeah, I think this group is this group is YG's sound. The rock, the hip hop, the chanting, the EDM, the whole energy that everyone loves so much now was cultivated with this group. And I mean, they've had an amazing discography, English, Japanese, probably some Spanish in there. Who knows? At this point, they're very, very, very eclectic, and they're also eccentric, but in a way that's wow, they're artists, not just hey, our stylist told us to wear this. Maybe in the beginning, obviously, but once they hit success, you knew their sound, you knew who they were, and even their solo projects have been really successful. I think they're probably one of the best groups, hands down.
Still one of my favorites.
Sure.
Yeah, if you would like to go down memory lane with us,
yes,
we're very excited because we are working on our Pop 101 episode about Big Bang that will come out in a few weeks. So look out for that, because that's going to be really fun, because they really have an awesome back catalog for sure. But this episode is about the new single. So let's find out if it's a bop or flop.
This is It Boppin'? Here, we listen to the song and discuss the production, lyrics, video, and everything in between. So let's find out, is it a bop or a flop?
Still Life, or the Korean title Spring, Summer, Fall, and Winter, was written by G-Dragon, Top, Kush, Vince, and VVN. And this song sounds like most of their other ballads. And I think it's interesting because, again, a lot of people might listen to it who are not Big Bang fans or didn't grow up with Big Bang, thinking, oh my gosh, they sound like Winner, or they sound like this, or they sound like whatever new group YG has, right? But again, like I said before, I mean, Big Bang kind of set the tone for that whole rock sound and the rock ballad. And honestly, I think the production is very reminiscent of the old them. I think with this song, the guitar riff is what the melody is what the chorus is, because the song doesn't really have much of a chorus per se. But I do have to say, I noticed that the verses were quite long, or I don't know how to describe it, but because there was no solid verse, chorus, I wasn't sure where the lines were for this song, honestly. Doesn't mean it's bad. It just made it a little bit more hard for me to latch on to any specific melody, as opposed to being excited to hear my favorite member's part, or to hear what the other member has to say or how they would sound during a certain section. And I will say that during I guess the bridge part with the la la la's and Taeyang's part, those are the parts that I realized, okay, we're at the bridge. The song is nearing its end. You know, very it's like very typical YG style that they created, but also not. So, I mean, what were your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I agree. The lack of a chorus isn't my favorite thing. This definitely feels more just kind of like an indie rock song, I guess.
Okay.
Because, you know, I love some of Big Bang's ballads, you know, like this sounds sonically similar to If You. There's also like A Fool of Tears, you know, back from their like R&B days. But those still had a very kind of standard pop structure. And this one definitely doesn't. I think this one's definitely more just about the message and the meaning of it. So I think melodically it's not the most interesting. But I would say just looking at the production, it is very pretty. I love the different guitar riffs that come in. I think the distorted kind of strings and bells that get added in as the song continues add a really nice dimension. And just the overall build up into the La 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 section. It's very subtle and it's very well done, and it lends itself well to a live setting. I don't know if we'll ever hear this live. I don't know what their plans are with that, but it felt like it already kind of felt like a live band version, right? It's all kind of set up already that way. So I can imagine like the crowd, you know, like waving along to the La La La's. And I'm sure that kind of felt like the point of it, right? So I think the production is pretty, but I don't think it's personally just not really for me. Also, just side note, I did listen to that Dolby Atmos version. Maybe we'll do a little rant about this at some other point about like audio quality on these streaming services, but I don't fully get Dolby Atmos. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't sound as good as just the regular, you know, stereo. Whatever.
I understand. Another day.
Another day. Let us know if you'd like us to talk about the different audio qualities between all the streaming services. Can get very nerdy here, but all right. So let's talk about the vocals though, because Big Bang. I mean, now it's them, but all five of them really had very distinctive tones, and they're great at being very emotive. So what did you think of all the vocals?
Oh my God. Can I tell you, they're one of those groups where I was like, oh yeah, they did R&B really well, but they also sound so good on a guitar, like a rock guitar, which is, I wouldn't say it's hard to do, but some people I'm just like, oh, this sounds like you really are trying, you're reaching right now. But I guess because sometimes, not even sometimes, I guess because they know what they're good at, they've been able to grow and develop within this like rock kind of genre, that it's been really just nice to hear. I mean, you have Daesung, I mean, he does mostly sing a lot of like trot and like you can hear the R&B in his voice, or he does some rock or whatever in Japan. But like, when you hear their voices, his voice is so soulful. I wouldn't think, oh yeah, let me listen to a rock guitar, this guy just going off and giving me a little riff. Even Taeyang, when he first started, I mean, you could hear that he was very much into like Usher, Omarion, very just R&B. So to hear him kind of like almost having like a vocal break in the bridge, oh my God, it sent me. I was sent.
Yes.
I was sent. And then of course you have rapping over. It's again, they're the kind of group that just, the chemistry's there, the vocal quality is there, the thought process and the artistry is also there. So I think it's really nice to hear them. And it's again, with all the crap that happened with Seungri and the whole Burning Sun thing, I feel like he really just not only effed up the bag, and then also this is a sad kind of thing because now you're not a part of this decade-long story. Because of, so it just annoys me because I know he's more of like the bridge. He carries the bridge. He's like the Michelle Williams of the group. Like, the bridge is coming. He's singing it and he had a nice tone as well. But honestly, I can't say that I missed him on the track.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But it was good for sure.
I love Taeyang and Daesung's voices. Like they're still up there. Even after all these years, they both have really great tones and they complement each other really well while still kind of being in their own lanes. And I'm glad that these 4 years off didn't, they clearly have not lost it. They still sound really good, very soulful and emotional. It's tough when I don't speak Korean, right? So I don't know what they're saying. Right. So if you can emote and I can kind of get what you're trying to say to me, just purely based on how you're emoting with your voice, I think that's an amazing skill. And not many K-pop artists, I think nowadays really have that. So I think this really shows it off for both of them. With G-Dragon and T.O.P. or Top. Do you say T.O.P. or Top?
I go T.O.P. or Top. I say Top. Yeah,
I say T.O.P., but I think that's because he like says T.O.P.
T.O.P.
You know?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. But anyway, I love that they both have kind of rapping moments and singing moments throughout the song. Again, just to show their full dimension, because they really are very talented with such distinctive voices, you know? So as a fan, I'm very excited just to hear all four of them together. And I think because the song didn't have a traditional pop structure, they were able to each have a very extended moment and really say everything that they wanted to say.
Right.
And yeah, I think all four of them really, there's like a weird mix of like, there's a warmth in there, but there's a sadness in there, and there's like
it's a good mix for sure.
Pensiveness in all of it. Yeah, it's just really well emoted, very well emoted.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I agree. And I think tied in with the lyrics, it's interesting to see, as you mentioned, their vocal delivery, their vocal, I guess even cadence, melody, even some harmonies here or there were kind of based on what they were saying in their lyrics, right? Like, you know, they were very, I don't want to say interesting, that's not the word I want to use here, but it is interesting to see or to read the lyrics and see who had what section. You can see how everyone else is feeling. Like GD's approach in like the second verse or second part of the song was more related to like a relationship. But in the first kind of half, he was talking about like the seasons and how even though at the end of the rain, there is a rainbow and not a sad ending. So it's interesting to see that. Taeyang seemed to be approaching more of a romantic kind of thing as well. So it was nice little ebb and flow of like general endings and also like romantic endings, and then
like all facets of life, like their personal lives and the professional.
Exactly. So everything has a cycle, and that's what this whole song's about, you know, 365 days a year, 4 months. And I think the Still Life title, exactly. Thank you.
4 months.
Yeah, 4 months. That's it. Life is short, you know? So yeah, I think the whole idea of still life, if you think about still life, it's a genre of like painting or a genre. I mean, wow. Still life is a genre of painting or drawing where a moment in time is captured. Even with photography, a moment in time is captured. So this song is encompassing all of their time together, their younger days, and even up until now. This song is meant to kind of just wrap it all up in this pretty bow. And I like that all of the lyrics seem to lead toward freedom, like letting go of the past and allowing the 4 seasons to exist separately, but all together making like one beautiful year. Like even though we're separate, we're all still one solid unit, you know?
Yes, I love that. Yeah, I think it's interesting because when I read it, it's almost, of course, like as you just said, it can reference a lot of different things, like Sungri leaving, the group ending, you know, like their personal lives kind of having different developments. And so, but I think overall, it does feel like a general kind of new beginning, mourning of the fact that, like, I guess this era is over and then ready to move on to what's next. But then they're all kind of in different stages of the grief, almost different points of the song. And so it's almost like they actually decided to not break up or disband, but just like end this for now, right? A while ago. And then this is kind of like a little bit later. Now they're kind of fully processing it.
Yeah, totally. It totally feels like a moment in time that has been captured, and now we're getting it. So I mean, the video luckily didn't have too many like this is the end kind of imagery, but the imagery in it was really interesting. I mean, I noticed that not a single scene had them together, which is like
that makes me sad.
That bothered me a bit.
It bothers me. Like, we're fans of of them as a group, you know. Like, if this is really their last single, I don't think they're promoting it anywhere. Like, I don't know. We won't even get a photo of the 4 of them together. Like, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. The only time we got 4 of something was the 4 chairs, and I'm like, not the 4 chairs in one scene. Like, what the hell? So it was a little funky because I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, you may not be like you may be grown men living their own lives, but for this album, song or this
Single,
video, I
yeah.
would think that you would come together.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna lie, it was a little strange seeing that body double do Top's part.
Do you think it was a body double? I don't know.
Something about it just doesn't look like him, you know what I'm saying? And then that one scene, he takes the mask off with his little, like, it just felt very much like, I don't know, he was phoning it in. I don't know. It just didn't feel
well,
like
let's talk about each scene, because there really are only 4
Okay.
kind of mains. They each have their own little, like areas,
Mhm.
I guess. So yeah.
Yes.
So with TOP, I don't know if the bunny maybe means something. I didn't fully get that, but I did love that he was not on Earth, and that he was on this like barren planet,
wintry planet.
yeah.
was that Hearts on Ice with Princess Cayuga?
Princess Cayuga? Yeah.
Cayuga, or I say it? Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, no, but you're right. I was thinking Sailor Moon too. Oh man.
He was on the moon, as far as we're concerned.
Yes.
He was winter. Yeah, it was very barren, very cold. He was wearing the the astronaut,
like an astronaut
outfit that I've seen
space suit. Yeah.
Yeah, he wore it in Bebe, I think it was.
Mm.
And they have like little references to their old costumes here and there. But yeah, you're right. That was interesting to see him in that. And then Taeyang was kind of spring with the flowers and him being on the pirate ship.
Yes, I think so the last single they released 4 years ago was Flower Road, right?
Yes.
And that whole thing was about like, we're gonna like, pave this flower road for our fans to walk on, and we'll like meet you at a part of it or something.
At the end, right.
So yeah. So I feel like this is kind of the reference, right? Like he's here at like the end of it. So yeah, I thought that was really beautifully done. And then there's a biblical verse behind him. It was Psalm 30:11. It says, "You turned my wailing into dancing. You removed my sackcloth and clothed me with joy."
Aww.
I assume you being like the VIPs, right? The fans. So yeah, I thought that was beautiful and subtle.
Yeah.
And then Daesung was in the empty house.
Was he fall? I'm grasping at straws right now.
Yeah, I want to say yes, because G-Dragon's kind of red and yellows gave me summer. But
yeah,
I kind of like that it wasn't very stereotypical, like basic interpretations of the seasons.
Yeah.
Like it is a little kind of like, I don't fully understand. So yes, I agree. I think maybe fall. What did you think of his scenes?
His was first of all, I just want to just hang on before we just go past these scenes. I just want to say, Taeyang, this is the most K-pop I've ever seen this man look. And the time he got this, like, yes, it was very straight and highlighted. I was like, who is this young man in this video? And Daesung with his little curls.
I love the curls.
They're so cute.
Yeah.
I mean, here we are, the curls. But yeah, his scene was, I guess, the most tame in a sense. Like, he's in the house, he's walking through the house. I feel like this is like a barren house or a dilapidated kind of home. And you got the 4 seats, like you mentioned, which I think is very telling, because they didn't even have 5 seats, and they could have, but they chose not to.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And like I said, it could very well not even be them who did it. Like, it could be set design that decided, hey, we're doing 4. That's it. Let's not ask any questions. But that's an interesting kind of situation, because literally it was just 4 seats for a good couple seconds. So I think his was very bare. I don't even know how to describe it. I feel like I think he was the first to go solo, right? Or was it GD?
Oh, I don't know. We'll figure that out when we do when we finish our research for our 101.
Yeah, but his felt the most lonely. You know what I'm saying? Like, Top, even though he was on the planet, the winter Hearts on Ice planet, he still was there's a lot of energy behind his performance. With Daesung, it felt almost like lonely. Like, he's the lonely part of this grieving stage. I could be wrong, but I just felt very like,
interesting
about him, you know? So again, I could be wrong, but you know, just saying.
Yeah. And then G-Dragon was in that abandoned street. With all the projections, like there are actually projections of the fans waving the light sticks and
they're artistic. His was very artistic,
which is very, that's normal for him. I feel like that's expected. It'd be a problem if it wasn't artistic.
It was interesting for sure, because he had like a director's chair. As he was leaving, he's giving me very much, I'm transitioning into my Rihanna Robin Fenty lifestyle, like with the Nike stuff, the Peace -1 things. I feel like he's not giving up being an artist, he's just transitioning into another phase of artistry.
Yes.
So yeah, his is a little bit more clear as to what he's doing. With Taeyang, I feel like he had like a white dog with him, or it could have been a white lamb. I couldn't really tell, but I mean, he's about to be a dad. I think he is a father now.
He already is, yeah.
You know, and then like there was like little Easter eggs here and there in their videos for sure, and in this video for sure, which I liked. But you said that you noticed something about the end of the video of like OT5.
Well, they have the 5 lines come together at the very end.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't watching to the end of the video. I was sitting there like, oh.
Yeah, it's like the Mave logo, you know, with just the 5 lines on top of each other. They do the 5 lines at the end. So, I mean,
that's sweet.
That feels like a reference, right?
Okay,
I don't want to kind of get into the drama of that. Well, maybe we'll talk about it a bit in the 101.
Oh hell yeah, we're talking about later.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah, but the end did feel very final. Like the sun comes out for all 4 of them, even though they still look kind of sad about it. And then it kind of fades into black and white before that kind of those 5 lines come together. So yeah, I guess this is goodbye for now, right?
I'm not liking this. The second gen, the end of second gen right now. I'm not liking it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not.
I know. Right now. I know. We just went through New East. Con. No, but you know, I appreciate that. You know, they said they would come back, and I feel like this is kind of them fulfilling that promise almost. Like it's kind of like I feel like it's like when Destiny's Child came back with Destiny Fulfilled, and we all knew that they kind of just did that because they said they would. You know what I mean? They all kind of were moving on already at that point. So it feels like that. But all right. So what do you rate this song?
It's not so high. I mean, even with all the nostalgia that's attached to it, the song is not their strongest. So therefore, I'm going to give it like a 7.5, honestly. What about you?
Yeah, I'll also give it. I'll give it a 7. I agree. They have much stronger ballads, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah, it's true. Again, I appreciate them coming back together, especially as like grown men. I mean, they're like what, 30 something now? Like all of them have served. I mean, they're Taylor's a whole husband.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes, sir. But Taylor's a whole dad now and a husband, which breaks my heart because he was supposed to be my baby daddy, but I'll let it go. So I got one hoe now. Top, he emotionally has been through a lot with the whole, you know, scandals and whatnot, and that chick, and then the army. Like he's been through a lot. At this point, he needs to rest, and I think he does want to have his own company. And then GD, he's fine. He's on his Robin, Rihanna, Fenty shtick right now. Daesung, he has a voice. I feel like he's always going to make music regardless, but I'm curious to see if he'll stay with YG for sure. I just feel bad that we couldn't get them at Coachella. I feel like that, you know.
That would have been a great moment for them. Even if that was their final concert, that actually would have been a really, really great moment. Yeah.
It would have been gorgeous.
Yeah, COVID kind of ruined that one, unfortunately.
Yeah. Coco got everybody. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah.
What do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, so TOP, he did already say he is starting his new thing. Like he did not renew his deal with YG. So
he said bye.
I'm very excited for his solo album. He's never released a full project before, so I'm very curious what that's going to entail. I hope Taeyong releases another solo project as well. His solo music is so good. So good.
His concert.
Yeah, he's so talented. And yeah, you know, I hope they reunite, you know, at some point in the future for like a show or something. I hate that they don't do like goodbye concerts are not a very common thing in K-pop. But actually, I feel like it gives really good closure, I think, for the fans and for them. But you know, at least we got a song. It wasn't just okay, we're never coming back, you know.
Right. Here's a Twitter statement.
But you know, I think this song, I'm really excited that they finally came back. Even though I don't love the song, it's great to hear all their voices together on a new track.
Yeah.
And this just makes me excited to do our Pop 101.
Oh, totally. But honestly, I really do hope that this is not the last song, because if I don't get one like, you know, bang, bang, bang or something I need something.
Think they're in that. They're not in that space anymore, though, I feel like.
I'm being selfish, Chris. Let me rock. Damn it. You're right. No, you're so right, though. This is why you're here to bring my balloon back to like the, you know, it's okay. Too much. But yeah, I love them for that. But hey, what can you do? I mean, for all the other VIPs. I hope y'all liked it, because my heart hurts.
Yeah. Let us know what you all think about Big Bang's long-awaited comeback with Still Life. You can leave your comments below if you're watching on YouTube, or you can message us at CCTV Pops on all social media. You can also join our crew and help us decide our next episode topics by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/cctvpops. And yeah, otherwise, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, get ready for that 101. And if you're listening, please give us a rating and review on your podcast platform of choice. Until next time, that's Jan.
That's Chris.
And we are CCTV.